And welcome back, everyone. I have to apologize if you heard me coughing. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second match of the night. Welcome back to a qualifying match between our two amazing players here. And here we go. You may as well jump right in because spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkion, and we have our French Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Alter. It is PtitDrogo. And in the bottom right-hand corner we have, bottom left-hand corner we have his opponent. We have the random player from the land of the Netherlands representing Offside. It is uThermal. Rolling as a Terran. I just need a moment here to set up his name. Thermal, there we go. As orange. Beautiful. And if you're in the chat, predictions will soon be open, so you can place your bets. You can place your bets on how you believe this series will unfold and how you think this all does come together, as we are opening up with a proxy Rax. Oh boy, here we go. Meanwhile, Drogo is moving out across the map to scout his opponent to get a read on what kind of player he's up against, what kind of race he's up against, as Drogo is still unaware whether it's a Zerg, a Terran, or a Protoss. As now he does confirm. One moment, just setting up those predictions. Beautiful, and they are open, so you can place your bets on how you think this series does unfold. Predictions open. Beautiful. As we are settling in, we do have the eBay block here on the low ground. Proxy Rax Reaper into eBay block here just to disrupt the opener, just to deny and delay that expansion. Zealot is on the way. Thankfully, you did corner out that first Zealot. It is going to be able to shut down this eBay without too much trouble, but the Reaper is going to be making its way into the main base. And can we get some probe kills? Can we get some economic damage done? There we go, Reaper. Ooh, unable to delay the expansion, just barely 1 second off. Nexus is thrown down. Nexus is thrown down. We do manage to get one probe in the main so far. Good target fire here as we get as we do get that first probe. Second probe falls, but the Stalker does arrive and we shut down the Reaper. Drogo, he does defend, he does expand, and the game is going to be settling from here. We do have another Reaper out, but we have plenty to deal with it. We have our initial Stalker, second Stalker on the way. And uThermal is going to be transitioning the hell out of here. Is going to be transitioning out of this. There it is, CC on the way. We have the initial 1-1-1 followed by the command center. Command center is quite delayed here for uThermal. We'll see if he can make up for it though with some cyclone drops. I'm assuming it's going to be a medevac here. Could go into a liberator. We'll see as the starport is finishing up. Reaper does bypass the army, getting behind that natural base. Starport does finish, and there it is. It is going to be the cyclone drop from uThermal. Okay, medevac is on the way. Meanwhile, we're getting to our take of choice. Interesting choice here from Drogo as he's going for a robo-based opener. Very safe way to play. Makes sense here against uThermal. With a robo, you get access to faster Immortals, faster Colossus. The downside is that this is going to be delaying your blink and charge and any kind of Twilight Council-based upgrades, which means we don't really have much map control or map presence. But we'll have a secure setup here on two bases as uThermal is moving out. Behind this move out, he's soon to be expanding, getting into more Raxes. This is going to be bio, not mech. I wouldn't put it past uThermal to try out mech at some point here in the series, even when he rolls Terran. I think we've seen uThermal play mech before against Protoss. Sounds like uThermal thing to do, as we do manage to catch one of these Stalkers. Stalker goes down. Cyclone's wreaking havoc here in the main base, getting a lot of probe kills. Ooh, Drogo out of position. 5 workers go down. Did I say 5? 7 probes fall. Ay, ay, ay. And this is becoming a bit too much. We get a Zealot. Good juggling here, avoiding the shots. Oh my god, uThermal flexing his micro. Flexing his control. There's a reason why Terran is his main race. As he's looking strong here. It looks like finally the medevac goes down. But not before we get 13 probe kills. Oh my god, 13 probes, 2 stalkers, a zealot. Far too much damage done. And how do we bounce back? Dark Shrine. When behind Dark Shrine. Makes sense here for Drogo, but again, he's quite far behind at this point. His hopes and dreams, they're all in the Invisible Man, in that Dark Shrine. Reaper checks the natural. Pulls back. Behind this, we do have uThermal getting into double E-bays, double upgrades, working towards this bio transition, stim, combat shields on the way. Thermal just working on everything here towards that mid game. There is a chance. There's a chance where if uThermal doesn't have any energy for a scan, then maybe DTs can pop off. I spoke too soon though, because here comes some Raven harass and we get eyes on the Dark Shrine. Turrets are on the way. uThermal, he sees everything. He's ready for everything. Ready for everything that Drogo has thrown at him. Again, safety turret in the natural. No turret in the main, but we're going to be holding on to a scan, I'm sure. Sure, we are going to be holding on. Reaper confirms the third base, which means that Drogo is not planning to go for a 2-base all-in, despite losing so many probes. And it's just going to be an uphill battle here for the Protoss. Because of all that economic damage dealt, Drogo, he's stuck resaturating, reprobing. Tech is getting underway with +1 in charge. No third CC yet, which is interesting. uThermal could definitely throw one down. But now he's moving out with his own drop instead. Own drop is moving out. We have not invested into the Dark Templar. Just because we got scattered. I like this here from Drogo. He doesn't want to throw away his resources. As the drop is headed for the main. Oh, Drogo does not see this, by the way. Uh-oh. Drogo caught with his pants down. We get into the main base. GG gets called instantly. GG does get called, and uThermal takes game number 1. GG. In a solid game there out of uThermal, able to snowball out of control with his initial Reaper harass. With his follow-up as well, getting too many probe kills. And with that, uThermal does take a lead. And game 2 is going to be taking place on Site Delta. Okay, here we go. Game 2 is going to be on Site Delta. And as I said before, if you're just tuning in, uThermal, he is rolling as random, and I do favor him whenever he gets his Terran race. But because he's playing random, we'll see. We'll see if we get Protoss or Zerg instead. That is going to be giving Drogo a bit of an edge in some of these games, to bounce back, to gain some momentum back as well. Ooh, as we roll the dice, and once again, it's going to be a PvT. A little bit unfortunate for Drogo. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our French Protoss player representing Team Alter. It is PtitDrogo. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the random player from the Netherlands representing Team Offside. Rolling Terran his main race, it is uThermal. And this time, we are moving out with our SCV once again. It is going to be another proxy racks here from uThermal. Drogo is scouting. Very nicely done. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, as we force a cancel on that Rax. We do disrupt the opener here of uThermal. Very nicely done here by Drogo, forcing that Rax back at home. So uThermal punished for going for the same build. And Drogo having a much faster realization here that it is going to be the Terran race that he's up against. Here we go. So we have a game. We have a game on our hands. This time, uThermal won't be able to be as aggressive as he would have liked to have. Still went double gas, by the way, so this should be leading towards a delayed expansion into a faster factory. Should be, but we'll see. The Rax is finishing up. Expansion's on the way for Drogo. Expansion is on the way. And this time we're going to be able to get into quite a nice opener here. We do see uThermal getting into that factory, as we did mention, before the command center. Now, this could lead into one base all-in. One base all-ins are quite rare here in this matchup, but we have seen Gumiho Oliveira whip it out in the past. But uThermal, based on the minerals that are banking up, should be expanding here on the low ground. Not going for the all-in, thankfully. There the CC is on the way. Max is finishing up, opting not to set up any kind of add-on swap. And once again, 2 games in a row, our take of choice is going to be a Robo, not a Twilight Council. So a very safe defensive opener here out of Drogo. It didn't keep him safe last game, but that was just because of how much economic damage was dealt. Drogo just fell too far behind too early on to really be able to keep up. And it is going to be that Robo. As the Adept does delay the expansion. We spoke about it earlier, but again, with a Robo-based opener, we can get into faster Immortals, we can get into faster Colossus. Faster Observers, of course. This does delay any kind of Blink-based build. But again, I'm sure PtitDrogo just feels confident being more defensive here against uThermal instead. Probably feels confident going into a longer game. As uThermal, he does just run past the army. No, sorry, he dives on top of that Adept. It looks like he will get it, but doesn't quite break through. Again, Reaper Hellion is designed to get into a mineral line, but Elastic just wasn't able to. The defense a little bit too strong. Drogo was in position, and he will hold. Will hold on. We do see uThermal trying to go for a split push, but he runs into more Stalkers. uThermal does manage to get a full scout. Doesn't get much damage done, but he does confirm the Robo. Trying to get an extra probe towards the end, but won't be able to. And with that back at home, we do see uThermal spicing it up a little bit here. Getting into faster tank production to be safe, but also investing into some Cloak Banshees. Okay, Cloak Banshee is going to be on the horizon here for uThermal. It's very hit and miss. As we've seen, because of the Robo opener, we already have plenty of observers. I believe we have 3 observers out on the map here for Drogo. Plenty of detection available, and this observer moving out should get eyes on the tech on the researching tech lab. And there we go, we do get eyes on it. We see the starport, we see the tech lab researching. Could be only one thing. I mean, I guess technically it could be a difference matrix for the Raven. Scan does shut down the observer, but we already had a backup observer on the way. Stalker dropped into the main. Remember, there is no blink. But we're able to pick off a couple of SCVs, a couple of Marines as well. Not bad. Keeping uThermal busy while we expand. Likewise, uThermal also throws down his own 3rd CC. But Drogo's is about to finish. Oh, Drogo does overextend though. The Prism takes a lot of damage there. Almost goes down, forced a recall. Good positioning by uThermal. And the game is going to be settling from here. Now we've opted to skip Blink. We're going to charge. Charge +1. Immortal production as well. uThermal building up his army. Meanwhile, oh my god, uThermal moving out on 2 bases. Did start up his 3rd, that is true, but this is still quite committed. We have 3 tanks. We pulled a couple of boys. uThermal, can he break the 3rd? Banshees, they get into the main base. Probes are going down, forcing a big reaction out of Drogo. At the same time, the tanks, they siege up. Oh, we cut Drogo away from his natural base. Yeah, the positioning is just too good, and Drogo, he cannot engage. Banshees are being shut down. But I mean, look at this wall of bunkers. The bunkers and the tanks. Which means we're just breaking through into that natural. Aye, Drogo. I was trying to catch some reinforcements, spreading out his army. But honestly, we can go wherever we want from here. We get 10 worker kills. Prism is across the map, but uThermal, he can either push towards the natural or towards the 3rd base. Either one is vulnerable to him. Zealots are warped in. We're getting a bit of harassed done with 2 Zealots. Prism, oh, is going to be able to escape. As we do see Drogo collapse on these tanks. The 1st tank goes down, the 2nd and the 3rd as well. Very nice cleanup here. The Immortals putting in a lot of work. They do manage to focus on every single tank. We have a handful of Marines remaining. And Drogo will clean this up. Now, what's scary here is that Drogo didn't lose any workers. Yes, Drogo, he was losing gateways. There it is. GG gets called. uThermal losing too much, falling too far behind, and Drogo will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. Oh, God. But, yeah, very well done there by Drogo. I was going to say that, again, Drogo didn't lose any workers. He did lose gateways and he did lose his cyber core, but only a handful of production buildings. You know, he was able to keep his economy going, able to warp in, able to surround, able to clean up uThermal. And GG, uThermal, there was a little bit more onus on him to keep on pushing and break a base. He had to break either the natural or the 3rd. Didn't break either. Again, wasn't able to get either base in the end. And with that, we have a tied up series. We do have a tied up series here. Again, Drogo showing that even against uThermal's Terran, Drogo can keep up with him. Can keep up with him here. It's not going to be an easy series for uThermal. As we are getting into our next map, as we're going to be loading into Ghost River of all maps. And again, uThermal, he has no control, no power over what race he lands on. He's been rolling Terran twice now. What are the chances he gets Terran 3 times in a row? What are those chances? If he doesn't get Terran, how will his off race compare to Drogo? Oh boy. How does it compare? Looks like we are asking for a small break though. Looks like uThermal needs a moment. As he needs a moment, looks like we're just getting into more of our qualifying matches. Looks like most of the first round has concluded. There's a couple of matches still left going. Any other upsets here? We had Drogo take down Deka, of course. We had Young Yakov to a Baby Marine. Now up against Forjumi. Let's go. He's up against Forjumi. Art 2-0'd Aristary. Akedon 2-0'd Spazzy Mazzy. Again, no upsets there. Rotin 2-0'ing our Fire. I glossed over that last time. I do think that's an upset. I mean, Maybe I'm putting too much stock on Fire just because he's a young up-and-coming player, but for Rodin to take him down 2-0 is very impressive. Very impressive stuff. Milky Cow took down Hates Me 2-1. I'm sure that was a very scrappy series. Both very aggressive players. Mixu takes down Nickeract. That I would say is a bit of an upset. In my mind at least, I feel like Nickeract is a little bit more informed compared to Mixu. But here on the day, Mixu comes out as the stronger player. Did take down Nickeract. GG. And yeah, that's so far all the round 1 matches finishing up. And it looks like we finally got another update. Battlebee took down Nickish 2-1. That was a long series, by the way. I'm sure that was an amazing one, amazing TBZ. Battlebee, he's now up against Spats in a TVP. Germany versus Germany. Battlebee versus Spats. Honestly, I think it's going to be a really fun series. And yeah, we'll try to slip into one of these matches right after this one, after we wrap up. We'll do our best. Do our best. As our players did need a moment here just to gather their thoughts, just to rest up, just to get a breather, as we are getting into game number 3. Here we go. Getting into game 3 here. And what's it gonna be? What is uThermal rolling as? I think they were just joking. Yo, Terran 5 games in a row? Is it happening? Will it be real? Oh boy. So far so good. Never mind, as we are going to be loading into game number 3, and this is not going to be a PvT, as spawning in the right hand corner of Ghost River. Oh. True, papi, true. Least played race. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Ghost River, we have our French Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Alter. It is PtitDrogo. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the orange Zerg player. We have the random player rolling here as Zerg for the first time this series. I'm sure planning to go for a Hydra-based all-in of some kind, representing Team Offside. It is uThermal. Here we go. Now, this does seem to be his go-to build. We saw this against Night Phoenix. It is going to be a gas first. It's going to be a gas pool opener. With this, we can get into faster link speed. With this, we can get into a faster lair. And I would not be surprised if, with a faster lair, we try to incorporate some kind of Hydra-based build. At least from recent times and recent experiences, it does feel like uThermal is quite fond of Hydra-based play here in ZVP. We'll see if he embraces it on Ghost River. Again, this map is a short rush distance by ground. Can be quite aggressive on it. Can be quite aggressive, so we'll see if uThermal embraces that. Meanwhile, Queen is on the way. Link speed should be starting up momentarily once we get the gas for it. Huh. Oh, going for the Overlord first. Delaying link speed by a couple of seconds here. There we go, link speed is on the way. Now, what's important here is that we haven't pulled out. We have not pulled out a gas. Traditionally, you would once link speed is on the way. Because we haven't, I'm feeling a lair. I'm feeling a fast lair here from uThermal. Once the Queen does finish, once we have enough gas. Again, otherwise, what are we spending all of this gas on? What will it be? And there it is. There's the lair. Now, we saw that last time. Yep, the Overlords are getting in position. It's the same build. It's the same build that he used to defeat Night Phoenix. It is going to be Dropper Lords. It's going to be a Link Flood with Dropper Lords poised to go into the main base. Same build that we saw in the final game against Night Phoenix. And the main base is quite large, to be honest. There's a lot of dead space here. A lot of space, a lot of area that we can make use of. Drogo is going to be in a bit of trouble. Going for a Stargate opener here at the natural. Lings are amassing. Lair is about to finish. For those that are curious, you do need a lair to actually start the Overlord. Fun fact, back in the day you didn't. Back in the day, in early Legacy of the Void, you did only need an Evo chamber. But there were a lot of Drop Lord all-ins when there was just an Evo chamber requirement. And eventually they changed it. Did change it to the lair instead. And there it is, Drop Lords are now in production. Drogo, he scouts! Big scout here from Drogo. He does get eyes on the Drop Lords. He's aware of what's going on. He did not see the lair, but he does see what is coming his way. Adepts are getting in position. He does fully wall off at the natural. I like the wall off here from Drogo. Lings are dropping in. Oracle comes back home. With the help of the Oracle, we are perfectly safe and sound. Good defense so far here by Drogo. Does force energy to be wasted on this Oracle, unfortunately. Boys are being pulled, they have to be. We got 1 probe kill, 2, we got 3. Oh, that's a lot of probe kills. Lings are getting out of hand, Depths are getting surrounded. Drogo did not take it seriously enough. Getting 6 probe kills in the main and a lot of lost mine time. Good attack here from uThermal. And shield battery was a little bit too late. As uThermal's not done, he's going to get another probe. And another 9 probe kills in total. 10 probe kills. Oh, this is far too much. Far too much, far too early on. Behind this, there's that Hydra follow-up, as we did mention. Again, it's the same build that we saw against Night Phoenix. It is going to be the same build. Triple Oracle moving out. They can maybe get a Queen, but the Spore is going to be able to hold on. Queen doesn't go down. And the Oracles, they do get eyes on the lair, and will they spot the Hydra? They do. Big scout on that Hydra den. The Ling drop does continue. Ling's harassing that third. Oracles are racing back home. The Overlord. Overlord goes down. Finally, it does fall. Now, Drogo has all the information he needs, but information is half the battle, and can he survive the Hydra push? Just because it's going to hit like a truck, especially on Ghost River. We need shield batteries, we need pylons, we need an overcharge. We need an army. Oof, as Drogo is supply blocked. Brutal. There we go, another Overlord. So another Oracle's on the way. Hydras have been spotted. Yeah, we force a cancel at the third base. It's just not enough to defend, not enough to hold on. And uThermal is snowballing out of control. No shield batteries at the natural either. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. We were woefully underprepared. Oracles, they do what they can, but they're being focused down. They're being targeted one after the other. We depower the Stargate. And the shield batteries are just too little too late. As we do see Drogo snowballing out of control, he breaks through into that natural and gets both shield batteries, and there's nothing to stop him. We have 3 active gateways in the main, but GG gets called, and uThermal takes a 2-1 lead in this qualifying match. GG. GG, well played. uThermal, again, being quite successful here with his Ling drop. It was scouted, yes, but unfortunately, if you remember in the first attack, we saw that Drogo, again, he underestimated the Ling drop a little bit too much. He lost too many probes here early on, and that was kind of game. Losing that many workers that early on is brutal in this matchup. Cannot afford to take those losses, cannot afford to take that deficit, and with that, GG. GG, uThermal. Unomas, 1 more is all he needs to qualify for the Closed Qualifier. One more is all he does need, and we're going to be loading in to Golden Ore. And what race? What race do we land on? That is the question. What race are we going to be landing on here? Again, other casters are filing on in. They know what they want, Bobby. They know. And we have yet to experience a PvP. I'm leaning towards that. I kind of want to see that, but again, we'll see. See what comes out from our players. And there it is. There we have it. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our French Protoss player, the red Protoss. Not like this. We have our red Protoss player representing Team Alter down in this series. He needs to fight back here and now, but it is, or he is, PtitDrogo. Oh, Jack but better. Oh, Smurge. And in the top left, we do have his opponent. We do have the orange Terran player. I think, are they memeing on Jake, calling him Jack? I think so. I think that's what they're saying. Jake being no regret. In the top left-hand corner, we have the Terran player playing as random, but rolling his main race. For Team Offside, it is uThermal. Let's go. Let us go as we are selling into game number 4. Again, uThermal 1 game away from qualifying here for the European regionals. It would be huge. We don't often get random players in the regionals, so it would be a lot of fun to see one. We do get race pickers, that is true, but straight up random players, not much. I think the last time we had a random player at kind of that stage of a tournament would have been, what, Balloon back in the day? We've seen another player play random since then. I think we have, maybe. Again, we've seen plenty of race picking, definitely over the years, but I just say when it comes to random. Meanwhile, again, we're just settling in. Double gas opener here out of uThermal, getting into his factory. So racks into factory. This could be for Reactor Reaper with Hellions alongside it. It's a bit of an older school build. Otherwise, we could go into faster Cyclone production. So we'll see if we embrace the Cyclone or the Hellion here from uThermal. Meanwhile, across the map, you're just setting up here for our gate expand to Cybercore. Settling into our build of choice. Reaper does slip in. Reaper slips into the main base. Drogo did confirm the opener, of course, but not in position. Probe does go down. And the Reaper will escape. Meanwhile, it is going to be Reactor Reaper Hellion. So basically, we're just building up a small force here of Reapers and Hellions, and with that force, we can try to get into a mineral line and kill some workers. No SimCity here on the low ground. Can try to pop off. And once again, Drogo opening up Robo. Time and time again here, he's been quite consistent with this. Is going to be a Robo opener. I'm still on the fence. I'm doing this here against uThermal. Hellion Reaper is moving out. Going to be threatening these bases. Oh, also my apologies. Bam. Fixing up the player names. The Reapers, they do get into the main base. They dive into the main base. Boys are being pulled. Probes are going down. At the same time, we have Hellions threatening that natural, but they don't quite commit. Let's get 4 probes in total. Hellions, they do manage to slip in. And they do roast up a couple of probes. Oh, 5 probes in total. Quite getting a 6. But yeah, 5 probes is not the worst thing here, considering as well that we are just transitioning out of this into faster tanks, into Banshees once again. Very similar to what we already saw here. Oh, as we have lost Bratok. No. Bratok has left us, man. Again, I'm sure just keeping an eye on another series, so wishing the best here in his casting. Meanwhile, tank at Banshee is getting up. And we saw those Banshees wreak havoc in that last game. Did so well at not just killing workers, but just keeping the Protoss player busy. Keeping their attention elsewhere. The game is going to be settling down. Once again, Drogo getting into his forge, getting into his Twilight Council. We saw last time it was for charge. We'll see if we embrace Blink. But it should be charge here from Drogo. Should be charges. There we go. Charge and +1 is on the way for our Protoss player. Third base is getting saturated. And we are just settling on in. Now it looks like we should be going for another triple tank push. And there it is. We have 3 tanks. Boys might be pulled with this as well, which is exactly what we did in the previous game. On side Delta. We are moving out. Banshees on one end. Bio tank army in the other. We're only moving out with a handful of SCVs, only 2. So not as big of a committed push here this time. From uThermal. There are Banshees poised to go into the main, but there are Stalkers patrolling. We are in position. Thankfully, there is no blink. At the same time, we scan here towards the south. Ooh, uThermal does not find a way in. Is forced back. Good defense here by Drogo. Defense is main, defense is third. Keeps up with the Banshees at the natural. Or at least tries to here as the Banshees, they do get in. Herbs are going down. 5 worker kills at the natural. Getting even more at the third. Oh my, ay, getting 10 probes. 11, 12, 13, almost 14. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good start. Pretty good start here for uThermal. Crippling the economy. Forcing a bit of a counterattack here from Drogo. And uThermal is getting in position. We have a wall, we have tanks, we have the bunker, widow mines. Third CC's on the way. And Drogo, looks like his goal here is just to contain. He's right outside the third base. If we ever try to expand, we're there to stop it. Drop into the main. Warp into the main base as well. Zealot's getting damage done. At the same time, Drogo, he does come across a non-existent third base. Big tank shots going off. Ooh, yeah, there's no breaking this natural. Fighting head-on is not going to work. Nice force fields, though. Very nicely done. Needs up some of those Marines. Has the Banshees, they're back. The Banshees, they're back with a vengeance, and they're not satiated. They're looking for more probe kills. 7 workers go down. The Banshees, they finally do fall. Finally do get cleaned up. And as the dust does settle, I mean, uThermal, he does actually take a worker lead here as he takes his third. Plus mules. Ooh, free immortal goes down. Miss rally here out of Drogo. Prism is moving in once again. Just warping in straight to that mineral line, forcing the boys to be pulled. At the same time, we do manage to get an anti-armor missile on the immortal. Tank shots going to be going off. Big mine shots as well. We collapse on the army. We clean this up. This was not the fight here for Drogo, losing everything. Oh my god. The entire army gets cleaned up. We have an overcharge. We have a shield battery. Now we're fighting with the defender's advantage. But at times, we just have too much DPS. It doesn't even matter. We still want forward. We focus on that shield battery. There is no safety net. You see across the map, we're getting a couple of SCV kills. We are getting a couple. That does pale in comparison to what we just accomplished here with the main army. To get the Immortals, to get the Archons, to get the Prism. I mean, there is another Prism active on the map. But still, these have been some big losses here for our random player. Yeah, with that, he's just stutter stepping forward, getting on top of this third base. And how do we contend with this? We don't. He's also going down. At the same time, though, we do have some mass zealot harass coming in. Once again, we are active out of the map. We're a little bit preoccupied. Workers are falling. We're trading workers here for, I guess, workers of our own. 16 probes, and we have broken the third base. We're going to get a kill. Get a kill there. And again, just kiting our hearts out. We get a kill on the Nexus, and it does feel like Drogo is just processing the loss here. GG, well played gets called, and uThermal, he will take the series here 3-1, relying quite heavily on his Terran. He did roll his Terran quite a lot here in this series. But again, showing why that is his main race, why he was competitive for so long as Terran. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to uThermal. My condolences to Drogo, as Drogo is knocked down to the lower bracket, and uThermal qualifies.